What's up, guys? Ian Isbell here with Benchmark Realty, LLC out of Mountain Juliet, Team Rockin' Sock. Along with me, Andy Garrettson. Andy, tell us about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Andy Garrettson. I'm with Legends Bank Mortgage Loan Originator in Nashville, and happy to be here with my buddy Ian.
We have pre-approval versus pre-qualification. So me as a real estate broker, before I ever even meet with buyers, my first step is let's find out what we can afford. So I'm sending them over to Andy or lender of their choosing, and I'm saying, hey, go get pre-approved. We need that letter to start showing properties. For me, as the agent, I don't want to waste time showing you $1 million homes when you can't afford $300,000 houses. So very important step. And if you're serious about buying, I've never had anybody say, well, I don't want to do that yet. Let's look at houses first. Because that is the first step, is making sure that you have the money to do that. So there is a difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. Walk me through what each of those means, kind of the steps behind each, and kind of what you're really looking for when you come into the process, and what stands out for me as the realtor when I get that letter from you.
Yeah, so pre-qualification and pre-approval are two different things. Sometimes people misrepresent them as the same thing, but a pre-qualification is simply you call up your mortgage lender. They will probably pull a copy of your credit report. They will ask what your income is, how much money you got in the bank, and they might ask for, a pay stub or a bank statement or a tax return, but not always. And then based on that information, they'll tell you, oh, you're pre-qualified up to X, okay? But there actually isn't a lot of verification going on.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't even collect the documents. They just really have the credit score, and they heard what you told them. That's pre-qualification. So that's just a very, very light review, not in depth. As soon as you go into full pre-approval, that's when the lender is going to require pay stubs, possibly tax returns, bank statements, retirement account statements, mortgage statements if you own other properties, all this documentation, and then they will do a full review, meaning everything that a lender can verify prior to saying what you are pre-approved up to, they're going to do that. And why it's so important to you, Ian, that you know that someone is pre-approved. If something is missed in that process that prevents that person from getting a loan and being able to buy a home, you want to make sure that you know that and that nothing was missed. That's why a pre-approval is weighted so much heavier when you're going to make that offer than a pre-qualification, because the idea is that the pre-qual might have missed something that prevents them from buying a home or something like that. So same thing with the listing agent of the property that you want to purchase. They might not even let you look at the property unless you've been pre-approved, right? Yep. So it's very important. There are two different things. Pre-approval is really what you need before you get serious about making an offer to buy a home.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pre-approval has steps taken in the back end to make sure that you have that money, we can access that. Whereas the pre-qual, a lot of people probably overstep what they think they have when they're on the phone. Oh yeah, I make $100,000, but their tax return says they make 38. Or they're self-employed, or they don't have provable income, period. Yeah. So if you have just the phone calls, you don't really have any facts. You just have what somebody thinks is facts. I've got $100,000 in the bank when really they've got 30,000, and they're just saying that over the phone. So it's good to make sure that you have those in place. Something Andy does that I really like is when I submit offers with a pre-approval letter from him, he will call the listing agent to verify with them that what he has there stands, that he's checked everything, he's run those checks, he knows that they're good for it. Because as a listing agent, I want to make sure the person coming in here is serious. And that's why, to me, working with local agents and local lenders pays off in the long run, because you've got great people who are counting on business in this area full time. So make sure you're getting that pre-approval letter, and make sure you have that before you go look at homes, before you contact your realtor, get that referral, and just make sure you're working with good people.